Here's what nobody tells you about revenge trading. It's not a discipline problem. I know that sounds wrong because everyone, every training guru, every YouTube video, every book tells you to just, control your emotions or be disciplined. But here's the thing, you've already tried being disciplined. You've already tried controlling your emotions. And if willpower alone was really enough, you wouldn't be watching this video right now. So here's the real problem. You don't have a process. Because right now, here's what's happening. You take a loss, you feel like you need to make it back, and there's a gap currently between where you are and where you think you should be. And so your brain scrambles to fill that gap. So you open another trade, you lose again, that hole gets deeper, and the cycle repeats. But here's what's really happening under the surface that most people don't think about. When you don't have a defined process for handling losses, every loss can become personal. It's not just, the trade hit its stop loss because of its statistical probability. It feels like you failed. It feels like you weren't good enough. And so the revenge trade really isn't about the money. You think you're trying to make the money back, but what you're actually trying to do is just to reclaim a little sense of control. That loss made you feel powerless. The market is trying to do something to you, or market's against you. And so you force another trade, not necessarily because it's a good setup, but because it makes you feel like you're actually doing something, you're actually fighting back. But here's the paradox, right? The harder you try to, grip for control, the less control you actually end up having. Because at this point, you're trying to control the outcome, and you cannot control outcomes. The only thing you can actually control is your process and your inputs. And so this is a shift that change everything for me and potentially for you as well. Profitable traders don't necessarily have more discipline than you. They just have a process and a system that makes discipline completely irrelevant. Because when you have a real process, there's no decision to make after a loss. And no decision means no emotional drain, and it means no revenge trading. So let me show you what I mean. So in my personal trading, after any loss, I have two non-negotiable rules. A, I can only take another trade if my actual setup appears and all of my entry criteria are met. And then number two, after I get 2 losses for the day, I'm done for the day, no exceptions. Because at the end of the day, profitable trading boils down to just one thing and one thing only. Did I follow my process? Yes or no? That's it. And so here's what happened for me, at least. The first few weeks was really hard. I take a loss and my brain would scream at me to just try to get back in, but I wait, and in that empty space something just kind of changed, because eventually you realize that the emotional charge fades. That need to trade disappears. When I looked at the charts again, 90% of the time there was no setup anyways. I was about to force a trade that didn't exist. And after doing this for a couple of months, revenge trading was no longer something that I had to fight anymore. It just simply stopped registering in my brain. Because this time, I had a process that filled the void. Now, that void used to get filled with emotion. But now, there's a process and there's a system. Now, this isn't about just trade. This is generally about how you respond to adversity, just anywhere in your life. Something goes wrong, you feel out of control, you make impulsive decisions to reclaim control, and you make things worse. That's the pattern for most people. In relationships, in business, in trading. And so building a process really teaches you how to separate what you can control, which is your actions and your execution, the way you think, and what you cannot control, which is the outcomes, the results, and which is kind of what happens next. And that separation, it's called freedom, because you finally stop being a slave to your emotions and your results. You stop needing validation from every trade, and you start building actual skill and an actual profitable process. And one other thing, skill isn't about winning every trade. It's really just about consistent execution over time. Here's the hard truth, right? If you revenge trade, you don't necessarily have a trading problem. It's more of an identity problem, right? You're kind of tying your self-worth to outcomes that we just simply cannot control. It's impossible. So every loss feels almost like a referendum, who you are. And every win, feels like proof that you're worthy. Every loss, you feel like you're unworthy. And so the question is, are you a person who executes their process regardless of the results? Or are you a person that scrambles for validation after every setback? It's a beautiful part. You get to choose. The only thing is, you can't choose both. Now, here's what I would like you to do right now, right? Don't just watch this and move on. Like, actually do something about this. Write down your current process after a loss. Be honest, you probably don't have one. Or it may just be vague, like, oh, don't overtrade, or be disciplined. And then you move on to step 2, which is create 3 specific non-negotiable rules, which is what you do after any loss. Very importantly, what you do after multiple losses. What criteria has to be met before you trade again, and make them very specific. It's more like wait 15 minutes, not just cool off. 2 losses equal done for the day, right? You want something like that. Not, oh, don't overtrade. And then number 3 is you want to change your scoreboard, right? For the next 30 days, just trying to track only this. Did I follow my rules? Yes or no? Not P&L, not win rate, not how much you made or lost. Just, did you execute the process, yes or no? Because the truth is, when you focus on your inputs, the output will naturally occur as a byproduct. And that means the results that you're trying to get. I can promise you this, if you actually do this for 30 days, like actually do it, not just think about it, not just watch this video and go, do fuck all, revenge trading will very likely stop being a battle. In fact, it will become something that just doesn't really happen anymore. Because now you have a process that actually helps you instead of go against you. And your trading will just never be more consistent than your process, right? And your process will never exist until you build it. And you cannot build it while you're into emotional chaos like revenge trading. So build it now, like while you're calm, before you lose your trades, and let it save you when you're no longer that calm. And lastly, you don't really revenge trade because you're weak. Really revenge trade because you're just winging it, right? And nobody wins winging it in this game. So build this process, trust the process, become the process. And if you want help actually building out this process, not just knowing about it, but implementing it with accountability, this is exactly what we do in Bootcamp. If you do, click the first link in the description box below. But otherwise, just start with this video. Start with those 3 things that I told you about. And P.S., simply being aware of the root cause of your problems, usually helps to solve 80% of it. Most of the time, we just autopilot through life. We never really think about why it is that we do certain actions. And at the very least, now that you know that revenge trading is more of a reactive process rather than something that dictates whether or not you are good enough, this alone will go a really long way to solving this issue for you. Otherwise, see you guys in the next one. Ciao, ciao.